Good afternoon, everyone. We have now just hit 1 p.m., so we will get started with today's special investor briefing while a few more people are logging on. My name is Alfred, and I'm part of the investor relations team at Blockmate, and I'll assist with running today's briefing following the announcement of Blockmate acquiring BESS, a company focused on the sales, distribution, and manufacturing of lithium batteries. We are joined today by Blockmate Ventures CEO Justin Rosenberg, who will present an overview of the acquisition and the long-term plans for Blockmate. For those of you unfamiliar with Justin, he brings more than 20 years of international experience in capital markets, having led companies from startup to revenue, to scale up and to exit. So it's great to have Justin leading the team. After the presentation, we will open the floor to questions for Justin. So we welcome you to submit any that you might have for him, and we'll go through them after the brief presentation. To submit your questions, please just type them into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. It's the one with the speech bubbles on it. With this acquisition being a transformational one for Blockmate and Blockmate shareholders, I won't take up any more of Justin's time. Justin, let me hand over to you.
Thanks so much, Alfred. Alfred, have we given enough time for people to join? Have most of the registrants joined so far?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining this webinar, our first webinar to talk about the BESS Power Innovation Corporation acquisition, BESS standing for Battery Energy Storage Solutions, and a really exciting chapter for Blockmate. So Blockmate builds technology businesses, and our first blockchain business was Hyvelo, and we can talk more about that if there are questions about Hyvelo, but we have had a webinar about Hyvelo in the past, and that is progressing very nicely. And then we partnered with Sonified with their patented solar cells, solar sensors that go onto solar cells to track the energy generated through those solar cells. That then we partnered with them to launch a solar token. And now we have the BESS acquisition that extends our interest and commitment to climate tech. And we'll talk more about BESS shortly. Here's the standard disclaimer. And here describes how Blockmate as a venture builder has evolved and where we are now. I mentioned Hyvelo, I mentioned Sonified, and BESS, which we're currently rolling out as BESS USA with our BESS USA website. The first achievement of BESS has been the signing of an exclusive distribution agreement with Blivex, a company listed on the Shanghai Index with a market capitalization of just under $1 billion and with revenue over $70 million selling lithium iron phosphate batteries. Their R&D has been developed over 15 years, and we're very excited to have partnered with such an esteemed battery manufacturer. And we are the first offshore distributor for Blivex, and due to the size of the markets in North America, we want to focus on North America. We have South America in the agreement as well, but there's significant opportunity and upside to get involved with distribution outside of the Americas. We have discussions in Poland and in Australia. These are some slides from Blivex corporate deck to give you an insight into how impressive they are. As you can see, their yearly capacity of cell production is 5 gigawatt hours with their extraordinary portfolio of patents. I'm sure no one on the call needs to be further motivated about the size and the rate of growth of the energy storage market, growing at over 15% per annum in terms of its projection. to an extraordinary 1.7 trillion by 2032. It really is the perfect bloom as opposed to the perfect storm for energy storage. One, government's commitment to climate, to stemming climate change, and commitment of significant funds in the US and other countries. Growth in solar and wind farms, creating a massive need to make those energy providers more reliable. For example, nighttime for solar, or when it's not windy for wind farms. And energy storage batteries are essential to allow those solutions, those renewable solutions, to adequately compete or replace the coal and gas-fired power stations. We can see further information about the Blivex portfolio of products, from the cells to batteries for EV, electric vehicles, and their storage. With BESS USA specifically, we have a strategy that we're about to roll out, whereby we're allocating territories exclusively to electrical contractors and others that are committed to selling batteries in a particular territory. We expect that we'll have an initial focus demand for the residential licenses, and ultimately we'll be growing our network, focusing on the grid scale batteries, which are around $1.5 to $2 million per battery. Here you can see the features of the offer to these licensees, whereby we're not, for the initial early adopters, we're not going to charge a licensing fee. We will ask for a $25,000 prepayment, which will go towards the batteries that they commit to as part of the license, to purchase up to 10 batteries. We can see the additional add-on products, which are typical in this range of warranty, etc. You can see the typical customers that you can see, whether it's at the grid scale level, utilities, solar farms, wind farms, etc., or first responders and emergency operators that need to have energy redundancy or power redundancy, all the way through to residential communities, where we'll operate through our licensees and help those licensees to partner with municipalities and others, so that we're not selling battery by battery, but selling to whole communities, which will assist with installation and maintenance. Our target margins are 50 to 75%, and that gives you a sense of the revenue model. Again, we're talking more about Blivex's impressive certifications from ISO and others, reminiscing to the previous webinar about Hyvelo. Happy to answer questions on the Hyvelo product. And here's the Blockmate snapshot. Market cap on a fully diluted basis. I think the number here is based on the current shares on issue, but I've put in there the pro forma shares on issue at 151 million after the recent announcement of options and warrants from previous placements. On a fully diluted basis, the market cap is still well under $5 million, $5 million US, and today, the shares dropped to 2.5 cents. With as the market learns about this strategy, and this is our first webinar on it, we won't have to sell too many batteries, particularly the grid scale battery, to justify a market cap of many times what it is now. Thank you. Here we've got the team. Dominic Carrozza's our chairman. You can see his track record with banks, Apollo Capital, and over 50 technology-based companies. He's been a technology listed CEO since the 90s, if you can believe that. A pleasure to deal with, very hands-on, and has been instrumental in the growth of Hyvelo. There's myself, Con, our CFO, and Corbin and George, our non-exec directors of the Blockmate board. That ends the formal part of the presentation, but I really look forward to fielding your questions. Thanks, Alfred.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Justin, for that presentation. We've had a few questions come in already. If anyone does have any they'd like addressed by Justin, please type them into your Q&A box now. Justin, the first question comes from Stefan. How does this acquisition fit into Blockmate's Web3/blockchain ambitions?
Wonderful. Great question, Stefan. So as I mentioned at the outset, BESS and the deal with BESS was an extension of the work that we were doing with Sonified. Sonified, as I said, has the solar sensor that is our Trojan horse to access solar farms, and then BESS is a distributor of energy storage and other EV and other solutions to also help stem climate change. So BESS is going to help us significantly with the Sonified launch, with BESS's network, with solar farms and other energy tech needs of the Sonified sensor. And so there's a synergy from that perspective. And similarly, Sonified, with their network of solar farms, will provide synergies and customer opportunities for BESS to sell their products. Our BESS itself is not dedicated to blockchain in its own right, but it will support our work with Sonified. So as I said, we have Hyvelo that is blockchain. We have Sonified that is launching a token, but also their sensors operate in a non-blockchain way. So Sonified straddles both blockchain and the fiat world, and then dovetails through to the BESS network. Thanks, Alfred.
Next question comes from Jason. How are you able to deliver products so much faster than Tesla?
So it's extraordinary. With every unit that Tesla is able to produce, due to the value of their brand, they're able to create a multiple of that capacity through demand. And so they've been completely overwhelmed with demand despite their growth in capacity of producing their products. And we're just very fortunate to be operating in that sector where the demand is so much larger than what Tesla can provide. So we're just starting. We don't have an order book yet. We're working with Blivex that has existing capacity and commits to delivering product within 3 to 4 months of our order. So as opposed to the 1.5 to 2 years lead backlog that Tesla currently has. And that backlog has actually grown from initially several months through to the 1.5 to 2 years. Thanks, Alfred.
Just another one from Jason. What sort of revenue and margins are you expected to generate from these batteries?
As I said on one of the slides, we're targeting a 50 to 75% gross profit margin on our batteries. Of course, there's a product range, and also we're not just doing batteries, we'll be doing EV chargers and add-ons as well. But that gives you the current range, and that range will also depend on us selling directly to a utility and a solar farm, or us selling through a licensee. Thanks, Alfred.
Thanks, Justin. All right, looks like we've just got one more question. So if anyone does have any, please pop them into your Q&A box now. One from Johnny. Can you give an update on how High Velo is going, please?
Yes, sure. So for those who don't know, High Velo is a unique solution that is targeting the deep-in sector of the Web3 market, which is a sector that we've identified as fast-growing and adding tremendous value to all. So the most well-known deep-in protocol is Helium, and that was the fastest growing wireless wireless rollout, and it's a decentralized wireless rollout. And within a space of 2 years, 1 million nodes were rolled out globally, and that was by the unique blockchain Web3 model, whereby people were incentivized to purchase the hardware and plug it in, and then offer LoRaWAN network, so IoT narrowband network, to the surrounding area around a 60-kilometer radius. So that was very exciting for the world to see, and to see that this could be the modern telecommunications way of rolling products out, as well as the modern, some deep-in sectors are focused on digital storage, so not just telecommunications. And therefore, this area is very exciting. And so High Velo steps in to reduce the friction of that rollout. So rather than people having to buy the $300 Helium box, we have developed an app that leverages off the hardware that already exists globally. So whether it's people's laptops that are not fully utilized, or whether it is their GPUs that are even more valuable and powerful hardware that they're not using when they're not playing games, there are deep-in protocols that are wanting to pay very handsomely for access to that hardware, so that they can offer their networks for either AI rendering on the GPU side, which we saw with ChatGPT. Render token exploded in value even when in the dark of the crypto winter, or on the telecommunications side, whether it's Helium or Mysterium, which is a VPN network. So High Velo is an app. We have just completed the app, and we have signed on a distributor called Hotspotty, which has over 200,000 users from the Helium rollout. And we have a distribution agreement with a partner in Africa that has done a rollout in the play to earn game, and they are particularly interested in rolling out High Velo. And so we're very excited, and we are currently we've received significant investor interest for High Velo, and so please contact us if you would like to join the current High Velo round. Thank you, Alfred.
Question from John. How much cash do you currently have, and what is the monthly burn looking like following the midpoint disposal?
I can't comment on cash as of today. We did submit our last quarterly financials, so you can refer to them at that point. The monthly burn has dropped significantly after our sale of the Midpoint business, and so we are now down to around $25,000 a month. Of course, we are looking to expand the best business, but we will do that in accordance with investor interest.
Question from Penny. What is Blockmate or BESS doing to raise its profile to investors?
So we have certainly been under the radar while preparing for this BESS acquisition. So we have done that very intentionally while we were divesting ourselves of the Midpoint asset, and also while we were looking to secure the BESS acquisition. And since we announced the BESS deal, we have launched this webinar, and we have several more IR initiatives ahead, and absolutely committed to spreading the Blockmate story and the BESS story throughout our investor networks and the TSX community. And from a BESS perspective, to promote BESS through the licensees that we're looking to run digital and in-person campaigns to attract licensees. And as we deliver each milestone, we will certainly be coming to the market, we expect, on at least a monthly basis.
Question from Frank. As Hyvelo, Sonified, and BESS grow, where would you expect the valuation of Blockmate to be in 1 to 2 years' time?
Very difficult question, because they are our three babies. Right now, I'm personally focused on BESS and its launch, and so I could see that it's probable that the BESS division could represent over 70% of the market cap of Blockmate.
Thanks, Justin. Question from Blaze. Is there a plan to raise capital in the near future to promote the battery business? You are in the process of acquiring and also promoting Hyvelo, I believe.
So I certainly can't make an announcement now about capital raising. I can say that, in Dominic's businesses and in my experience, and even if you look at companies like Uber and Amazon, if you have an attractive, innovative solution, it's a land grab, and you balance the capital raising with that land grab. So I certainly say that we have very ambitious targets particularly for BESS, and we are always, as a technology company, actively in discussions with investors, and as at any point where there is a commercial agreement to help scale the business, we are open. So I encourage anyone interested in investing to contact me either by my email on the screen or by LinkedIn, to partner with us on our story to continue to source capital appropriately for the various growth opportunities.
Thanks, Justin. Just one more question. It's from John. Can you give an update on the two businesses that were vended in for shares when Blockmate was rebranded as Blockmate?
Those businesses were vended in before I came on board, and I can say they were also vended in at the time before the crypto crash. And so when I did come in, I have focused on the areas of the business that I see massive growth potential on. I did not elect to spend marketing dollars on promoting those assets, as the crypto winter was absolutely icy, and it did not make financial sense to promote a crypto website at that time or now.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Justin. We are now running a bit tight on time, so if anyone does have any more questions, please feel free to email them in. Justin's made his email address available there on your screen, and he will get back to you. A recording of this webcast will also be made available tomorrow on the Blockmate website. On behalf of Blockmate shareholders and those in attendance, Justin, I'd like to thank you for your time today, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon.
Thanks so much, Alfred. And thanks for attending. Look forward to speaking with you.